Hello, all you lovely people out there, and welcome to episode 3 of the Rest Is Legionella. Theme tune.
Investigate, interrogate, and educate. Investigate, interrogate, and educate. Investigate, interrogate, and educate. The rest is Legionella.
Matt,
Yes,
it's episode 3.
it is.
Unbelievable, 3 months in.
Can you believe it?
No, I can't, no. It's quite shocking that it's happened so fast. It's amazing as well that we've got 5,000 subscribers.
If only that
How
were
much have
true.
you made this month out of it?
Only 150,000.
On the way to on the way to your first yacht? Or is it the second?
Get in there.
Oh, I don't know. Never mind. That's the joy of this being unplanned, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. And in all honesty, we have had a really good response. We've had some great comments. We've had a lot of views, probably more than I was expecting, to be honest with you, because it is a very niche, subject matter. But yeah, thanks for everybody who supported us so far, taking the time to listen. Our last episode was just under an hour long, and still people sat and listened to it, or maybe listened to parts of it. But either way, we're very grateful for your support. So thanks, and hopefully you'll enjoy this one too.
I hope so. And, we haven't said it live on air yet. It's been in the comments. Any questions? What's the email, Matt?
The email address is therestislegionella@gmail.com. So if you've got any specific subjects that you want us to talk about or discuss, or provide some advice on, then please do email us. We will pick the emails up, and in the next episode in July we will look at answering some of those questions. So
Yes, but let's remember, we're really focusing this at people who've got responsibilities and who want to know more. We're not providing a masterclass, are we, Matt? Well,
No.
you might be. I'm certainly not.
No, I think part of the reason for it really is that there's a lot of information out there that is not necessarily correct. And with the work that we do, consulting at various different levels on Legionella related issues, we see people who've got responsibility for water systems who don't really understand what they're supposed to do, or are just completely baffled by all the information they're getting from various different sources. So our role really, and the reason we set this up, was to investigate, interrogate and educate. So trying to help those people out there and help them hopefully understand a bit better about what their responsibilities are and how they can maintain compliance with their water systems.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So, in an aim to keep this one under an hour and to something a bit more manageable, we've cut back a little bit. So we've got an update.
Okay.
First up, a little update.
Not Worthing Health Centre.
Have you been looking at the news?
No.
You better not have been. We've got an update.
I don't watch the news anymore. It scares me.
I don't blame you. So we've got an update. We've got something in the news. This is a bit special, Matt.
Okay.
We've got 3 and you're going to pick one.
Okay.
You better pick the right one. We've got a question.
It's like a magic trick.
It's like a magic trick, yeah. We've got a question from an audience member. Now, he didn't email it because, no, I'm not going to pick on him. He sent me a voice note. But we'll field the question because it's a reasonable one. And then the bit everyone's waiting for, Ravers Rant.
Okay.
And my word, we got a good multi-layered rant today. Okay?
Yeah.
You ready, Matt?
Yes.
So, I think Kensington Town Hall was a one-off hit. I don't think we're going to hear any more about that.
Okay.
I checked the news Tuesday, Wednesday this week. Nothing about Worthing. Worthing.
Yeah.
But I can't take credit for this.
London.
It was Mr. Wagstaff. Sent me a link the other night when he should have been asleep.
Yeah.
There's news from Worthing.
There's news.
There's news. Are you ready?
And it's not the Urbexers.
It's not the Urbexers. There was some news from Worthing saying they don't want people to do that.
Which is break into their buildings.
Don't break. Which, to be fair, if you're an Urbexer, that is probably the green flag to break in.
They need some armadillos.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what they are?
No, what are they?
Those kind of sensor units that they stick in unoccupied buildings. They
Right,
look
yeah.
like little Daleks, and
Yeah.
they set off alarms if they spot any motion.
Well, speaking of motion, we've got some backwards motion, I'm afraid. The long-awaited multi-million-pound project has run into fresh issues.
Really?
It really has.
To do with the water
To
system?
do with the water system. So the primary contractor that constructed the place has had samples following remedial work, and they were not detected. The local authorities commissioned its own independent samples, and they've returned what are being called fresh traces. So this place is still not open, and they don't know when it's going to open.
So when you say fresh traces, they're getting low levels of Legionella bacteria, or?
I think that's a reasonable interpretation, but it doesn't say that. Fresh traces.
Okay.
It's
as per usual, vague.
Vague, yeah. So we've got new traces. So further tests are now required. The council's going to do its own due diligence,
Well done.
and it's taking a lot of technical advice from various consultants, which is costing it a lot of money. So it was meant to open end of 2024.
Yeah.
We're now middle of 2026. This is the bad news. The Legionella is one thing. These delays have had some big financial implications. So the project was budgeted at 34 million. It's looking now like it's nearly 49 million.
Jesus.
And the payback time for the health centre, which was predicted at 26 years, is now up to 35 years for the break even.
Wow.
So this is really, really awful news.
I think also obviously an element of that extra cost not only will be the issues that they've got to remediate with the water systems, but also the time that they've not been open for.
Yeah.
Will have a big impact on that.
Yeah. And it does go on to say the council is looking for legal remedies to recover these losses.
So they're going to take the contractors to court.
Sounds like it, yeah. But anyway, the specifics. Investigations have previously identified multiple problems with the design and installation. Well, we knew that. Undersized pumps. It said pumps, not pump. So who knows?
But they could have, I mean, it's a large building. They could have several hot water recirculating systems.
Unlagged pipes.
Yeah.
Well, mate, if you can't see it, you don't lag it. That's a classic. And the presence of sections of stagnant water.
Okay.
Oh, dear. So bad news all round.
Well, I mean, if they've got low efficiency pumps, that will equate to stagnant water or more stagnant water within the recirculating system, but it might be relating to other aspects. It might be relating to the fact that the building has been unoccupied for so long now that the water system is just stagnating. So,
not good news for the contractors. It's not good news for Worthing Council. Sorry, it is good news for us because this means there's going to be more news coming up.
Yeah.
So there's that one.
It's an ongoing saga, isn't it?
Ongoing saga.
And I'm sure that's driving people back to these videos every time. I wonder what's happening with Worthing. So they're coming back on and having a look.
Could be. What's your guess? Is it going to open in 2026 or not?
My guess is no.
I'm with you on that one. Let's see if it actually opens in 2027 or whether it gets repurposed.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, I mean, what could you use with a building like that?
It's a purpose-built facility, isn't it?
Yeah, but you could do indoor paintballing. I don't know. Shouldn't laugh really, but it is a bit of a drama that they could have done without. No question about that.
Yeah, it's a shame because it's a very impressive looking building with
Looks good.
Good internal facilities. So it's a shame for it to be going to waste.
Certainly is. Right, should we have a look at the news?
Yeah, let's do
Let's
it.
have a look at the news. All right, Matt.
Let's look at the news.
In an ideal world, we would have let the subscribers vote on this. But because of the large volume of subscribers...
Yeah, what was it again?
About 5,000. we probably aren't capable of running that yet. So, you got three choices, Matt.
Okay.
Choice one is, and I'm not going to tell you the whole story, is a Legionella problem, well, that's stating the bloody obvious. It's a Legionella problem that is very, very indirectly linked in a tenuous way to a prosecution late 2024.
Okay.
That's all I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Option 2
Yeah.
is improvement notice or multiple improvement notices directly linked to the basic requirements of ACOP L8. I'm not going to lie, it's not the most interesting story, but it does give rise to what's this ACOP all about, what are employers meant to do. If you don't pick that one, we'll definitely do it another time. And the third option is a very unusual case and something that could happen at home. And these are all good stories, so you can pick 1, 2 or 3.
This is like trying to choose what I want for dinner.
Is it?
Yeah. Given different options.
Do
it's
you?
like, oh.
And what do you say? I'll go for the Jameson.
Oh, I normally choose. I normally select 2 and
Yeah.
then say these are the 2 that I'm up for. You can decide between those 2.
Oh right, okay. We'll pick 2 then. Would
No, I will go for the second one.
the
Let's do it
the ACOP
because
one?
you're keen to do that. I can
No,
tell.
you've actually picked the wrong one.
Oh,
I'm
have
keen
I?
to do all of them.
Let's do the third one.
That's the right one.
Okay.
Yeah, but we are going to save 2 for
I'm
next
glad
time.
this is democratic.
It's as democratic as the UK is, mate. So,
Careful now.
no, you're going to love this. It's not nice.
A little bit political.
No, it's not political
No,
at
no,
all.
no.
It is a case of Legionnaire's disease
Yeah.
and a death
Mhm.
in a French hospital.
Okay.
I'm hoping you've not heard of this
I haven't.
because it will ruin the surprise.
I don't watch the news.
Okay, well this didn't make the BBC. This I've found as a an extract from a study. So it's a bit of a one-off, okay? So, we're in a French hospital. 48-year-old man is in hospital with a particular type of cancer. He's actually gone in for surgery. He's having stem cell surgery. So that he's in the haematology ward, sort of bone marrow transplant type thing. Possibly makes him the most vulnerable person in the hospital in terms of hospital-acquired infections post-surgery. So he undergoes what's called the autograft, which is the surgery. 10 days later, he develops a fever. They managed to isolate E. coli from blood cultures, treated him for that. It went away. The fever persisted, and so did respiratory problems. By day 17, his condition's worse, and he's transferred from haematology into the ICU. Once in ICU, they administer a urine antigen test, and he's positive for Legionella pneumophila serogroup 1. They back that up with a PCR, which again confirms Legionella pneumophila serogroup 1. In this period, he experiences multiple organ failures, acute renal failure, requiring, I can't even say those words,
I don't know what you're going to say.
dialysis type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, his kidneys aren't working. Complications including necrosis, so tissues dying and rotting, essentially, in the extremities. Sacral pressure ulcer, so he got an ulcer towards the bottom of his back from lying in bed. Malnutrition, and some other things. His condition improved, and he's discharged from MICU 47 days later. Okay, so actually I'm wrong. He did survive this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's the good news. Hospital, doing its diligence, realises you look at the incubation period. He's caught this in haematology in the unit, so they do their diligence, and they test from sorry, I should have this ready. So they test from his shower, they test from the wash basin, they get no positive results. They then investigate the hospital's routine tests, and all the routine tests in haematology never showed positive for Legionnaire's disease. However,
Never showed positive
for
for
Legionella.
Legionella.
Legionella, sorry, yeah.
It's all right.
Okay. So during the environmental investigation, they noticed a water flosser in the patient's bedroom.
Yeah.
device was not listed in the inventory performed at admission to haematology. The device was the patient's, it wasn't the hospital's, which he used at home with tap water. It was brought in without informing the healthcare team. Because the patient was unable to be interviewed, they were unable to gather information on the use of the device. They sampled the flosser by filling it with sterile water, ran the device, collected 100 ml of water, and recovered Legionella pneumophilus serogroup 1 and Legionella pneumophilus serogroups 2 to 14 at a concentration of 300 CFU per litre. Okay?
Yeah.
That's the story. So this guy's caught Legionnaire's disease.
From a water pick.
So we're saying, yeah, from a water pick. What do you make of that?
Surprises me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that you kind of look at those types of systems where you've got tap water filled in something that you're utilising on a irregular frequency. And you think that if they're sitting in a chamber and there's no nutrient source, even if they stagnate, you think there's probably not much likelihood that Legionella is going to grow in there. But then on the flip side of that, you've got the direct interaction between the water in the flosser and obviously through the use of it, you're spraying it into your mouth, so you're going to be inhaling it. You're going to be drawing it into your lungs. You're potentially going to gag at some point and draw it in through aspiration. So you can kind of see the risks with it to some degree.
You can see the mechanism.
Yeah, but it seems unlikely, doesn't it?
It does seem
unless
unlikely.
It's been sitting in there for a long time. Yeah. Unless he's got Legionella in his water system at home and he's actually filled it from an already contaminated source. If it was from clean water, I wouldn't expect Legionella to grow in a water flosser. And also, you'd think that there would be... there's no reference to it in the article that you've read so far. But if there was Legionella in there, you would expect that there would be reference made to the general condition of the water flosser.
Well, there is.
Okay.
I admitted that part, but they found it hadn't been cleaned in some time.
Yeah.
The nozzle was contaminated.
Right.
Etc. Etc.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it would not. It's a water flosser used at home. No maintenance. We don't maintain things at home, do we? So he's just been filling it, using it, emptying it, filling it, using. The thing that struck me with this, and we can see the mechanism. Spray directly into the mouth. Yeah. Heavily immunocompromised person.
Of course.
Wouldn't take a lot to harm him.
Above 100 colony forming units per litre.
For sure, mate, for sure. What we don't know, I'm going to make an assumption now and suggest French mains water is largely warmer than English. Fair assumption, I think. I don't know that as a fact.
Well, if you think about the size of France and its location... It covers quite a diverse area of environmental conditions. South of France, Mediterranean, very warm most of the time. Northern France, similar to UK weather conditions. So it depends. Does it say where it was in France?
Yeah, it does actually. And I don't want everyone to get overexcited by the pronunciation. It is Besançon Regional University Hospital Centre.
It's good pronunciation.
Yeah, thanks, mate. That's and that is, I mean, geographically speaking, I'm going to say it's about halfway down France.
Okay.
And it is to the east, almost bordering Switzerland. So not a million miles from Zurich, quite close to Basel.
So I'm no expert on this, but I would say that would be warmer, but not as warm as south of France.
Yeah, you're definitely warmer, but it's properly inland.
Yeah.
It's not, it's inland. So it's, that said, it's a long way from jolly old Albion, jolly old England.
Yeah.
And so if we just, I'm not saying we actually, I'm going to ignorantly assume French water is similar to ours, but warmer. English mains, Legionella's not detectable. It's probably not detectable in France, but less not detectable, if I can use that as a phrase. That may even lead us on to a question we had, actually, being less not detectable. What I mean by that is there's probably more in French water per 1,000 litres, shall we say, because it's warmer. So the study goes on to say that it gives some indication of the size of the market for water flossers being massive. It's suggesting $966 million a year, roughly. So it's big. And it does suggest the use of non-sterile water can lead to biofilm. Well, we can agree with that, particularly if it's just left.
Mm-hmm.
It's not being cleaned. The pressurized spray directly into the patient's mouth may generate aerosols that are readily inhaled. Yeah, we can agree to that.
Yeah.
Several studies have apparently demonstrated bacterial colonization of flossers. I mean, that's no great surprise. That you're going to have naturally occurring bacteria in the water, stuff in the environment in your bathroom can get into it. And
Sorry, is that just normal the bacteria?
Yeah, so we're not talking Legionella. They're actually talking about Streptococcus mutans. Mutans.
I had a changing the subject slightly. Yeah. I did the 3 Peaks Challenge some years ago. And on the training for that, and also my excitement about having to buy equipment and different clothes and rucksacks and stuff, I bought a camel bag, which is like I think that's what it was called. It was like a plastic water pack that you put in your rucksack, and it's got a tube that comes out and goes into your mouth. I used this thing twice. The second time I used it, as we were doing a test walk down in Oxfordshire, I suddenly became unwell. I suddenly became unwell, just as we were at the point of no return if we wanted to be recovered. This was like a sort of, 10-mile hike or something. And I dropped to my knees, and I went pale, and everybody was saying, you all right? And I threw up there and then, and I was ill. Like the worst I've ever been ill. And I was stopping in a hotel that I didn't know, and had to get the cleaner, the woman who was in the hotel, to come and sort stuff out in the room, because every sort of 25 minutes or so I was violently ill. And I'm talking both ends here. It was a vicious experience. And because I'm in this industry, I got the water tested afterwards through a laboratory that we utilised, and they found high levels of general sort of bacteria in there. The TVC counts were very high, and that had only been used twice. And the normal process for these, because I looked it up, was that if you use them, you clean them and you stick them in the freezer or in the fridge to minimise any kind of growth potential. But yeah, those things themselves can be quite bad. Of course, you're not inhaling anything; you're just drinking it. But what I ingested obviously messed me about.
Yeah, I can well imagine. So you go back to the water pick. It's made of plastic. You've got different materials, different semi-movable parts. Legionella is present in English water, not detectable levels. Same in France, but less not detectable. I'm going to stick with that. How many times you've got to fill the flosser up before you get a Legionella or 2 into it, I don't know. But it will happen with all those flossers around the world being used. Is it just unlucky that this guy's flosser happened to have been exposed to Legionella? Even though you empty it, it's still semi-wet, more oxygen availability, beautiful for biofilm formation, and that he's ended up in a really immunocompromised way, and that small amount of Legionella's, made him very sick. It's a cautionary tale.
Yeah, and the other thing to consider as well is that you've got a mechanism in there. You've got a pump. So you've got an area where there's mechanical moving parts, where it could trap material over time. You never open it up and have a look at it and clean it through. It's got natural water flow through it whilst it's being used. But if it's been left for long enough and you've got some kind of bacterial growth in there, then it could just continue to grow in that environment. It's a very interesting story, Because
Yeah.
I have heard of water picks potentially causing problems before. And I've always, like I said at the beginning, I've always kind of thought, well, if you've not got a nutrient source sitting in there, I think if you're not cleaning it out regularly, then you're going to increase the risk of some kind of bacterial growth, whether it be Legionella or not, that you're being exposed to. I suppose it's similar to vehicle windscreen washers.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely similar.
In that you've got a reservoir, you're not really introducing a nutrient source into it. But normally during the winter, we're putting some kind of de-icer in there, which will act as a biocide potentially and keep any bacteria at bay. But we go
It's not very good at de-icing, though, is it?
But then we go through a whole summer period where we don't use it at all. And of course, we're generating an aerosol every time we spray. In fact, there have been cases, haven't there? I think of people contracting.
I think it was a bus driver or
was
National
that in
Express.
Australia as well, or was that?
It may have been. Yeah, I remember reading this. I mean, I can't remember where or when, but yeah, it's definitely someone in a commercial situation.
I think the point with it though is those types of incidents are so few and far between that they are very low risk. But you need to, obviously, if you've got a water pick or a water floss, you need to ensure that you're maintaining it properly and rinsing it out in the same way as you would do with a water bottle. You know, you will maybe use a water bottle 2 or 3 times, refilling it with water, and then you'll put it in the dishwasher and you'll make sure it's dried properly. Because if you don't do that, then you will have a drink of water at some point and it will make you feel ill. Obviously, you're unlikely to contract Legionnaire's disease from it.
Yeah, very true. So, interesting story.
Yeah, very good.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'm glad you picked that one.
Okay, cool. What else we got? Oh, we've got a rant. Is that coming soon?
Well, should we do the rant now or should we do it?
Let's do it at the end.
Do it at the end. So, we're going to field a question then. Luckily, it's quite a quick answer. Otherwise, it will bore everyone to death. So, I was asked by someone, why is it that labs have a different level of detection for Legionella? Some are 20, some are 25, some are 100. Apparently, this chap uses a lab where the LOD is 200 CFU per litre.
Well, that's ridiculous.
The 200 is a little bit iffy, isn't it?
Well, it is when 100 is the first action level.
Yeah. But that's not the question. The question is, why?
I would have assumed it's something to do with the methodology that each lab employs. But then there's a UCAS accreditation for those methods, which must somehow regulate that.
100%. Yeah, it's based on the methods they use. They're accredited methods. The labs are accredited to use those methods. And part of that is they have to prove the recovery rates. And so there's always a limit because you can't completely recover bacteria typically. So, as an example, I use a lab where the limit of detection is 20 CFU per mil.
Yeah.
That translates into 1 colony when they've done the culture. So it's all about the method.
Yeah.
And it's all about the fact that in terms of biological tests, there's not a perfect one. They all fail in their own different ways. We've got it's a bit of a worry in our industry now. Culture method's always been known as the gold standard. It takes quite a long time and it's got its own limitations. But now we've got rapid tests, we've got ATP, sticks, or they've got lots of different names. Obviously, PCR's becoming very, very popular. And
but PCR for, I thought PCR was for testing for Legionnaire's disease in humans. PCR for the audience listening is polymerase chain reaction, and you will have heard this terminology a lot because we had PCR tests through COVID. Yeah. And the urinary antigen that was alluded to by Duncan earlier is not dissimilar to the was it LFT?
Yes.
The
lateral flow. It's not a
lateral
similar
flow
test.
Yeah.
Similar test. No, I mean, you can use it for Legionella analysis.
Can you in a water? You can use PCR for
you can.
Legionella analysis.
I don't know the cost these days. It used to be very expensive.
I'm
I
not
imagine
surprised,
costs have come down
because you need quite a large piece of equipment. Whereas for determining the levels through the filtration method or through the centrifuge method, then my understanding of this is not great. But what I believe is the case, and you will correct me because you've got more of a microbiological background, so it'll be interesting to see. But I thought that they once they've got the aliquot, if you like, of the sample,
Slow down. Not everyone's a genius like you, so you're gonna have to explain what aliquot means.
It is a pipette of the water.
Okay.
So they basically take a 1 litre water sample, they filter it, and then they take an aliquot of that water, which is basically a pipette full, and they do several plates probably, and then they stick them in an incubator, and then they do it for I think they put them in the incubator for like 10 days, and they do a test at 3, 5, 7 and 10 days to see what the levels are. But the way they count them is that they put the plate on a counter, so it's a contact plate with some agar on it. If it's grown some colonies, they put it on a counter, and the way I've seen it done before, and this might not have been for Legionella, it might have been something else, but they have like a pen, and they touch the top of the lid where the colonies are, and the plate underneath registers those touches and counts up the number of colonies that are identified.
I imagine they've got an automated way of doing it now, but that was the way I did it 20
scan
years
it with
ago.
AI, boom,
yeah. And so, I mean, this could actually turn into a larger topic.
I've got a thing on my phone, like a measure app, and with that app, you can now take a photograph of some things, and it'll count them for you. So if you drop some coins on the floor, you can take a photograph of the coins, and it'll instantly tell you how many there are. I think that's brilliant. So
that gives you a guide as to whether to bother picking it up or not.
It's for OCD people. I don't know if it is, but that thing about if stuff falls on the floor, you've got to count them. I'm not that OCD. I'm a little bit OCD. But it'd be great for that, because you could just take a photograph of it and it'd tell you. You don't have to go through the bother of actually physically counting them. But you could potentially use that to count colonies on a contact plate.
Yeah, you definitely could. So when you look at some of the difficulties, we get times when, and you'll have seen this, buildings had a disinfection, they've returned some much lower, or they've got some not detected results. You sample again in a month, it's through the roof. And so you can actually stress the bacteria to the point when they're viable, which means they're alive, but they're not culturable. So that's one of the downsides of culture method. It doesn't pick that up. Right. PCR...
Is that to do with the virulence of the bacteria, or is that a separate...
Yes, to a degree.
So the virulence being, as I understand it, it's want to multiply.
It's want to multiply, yeah. Yeah, because it's stressed out. Yeah. It's took a kick in.
So it's less
it's in recovery
likely to
mode.
Multiply.
Yeah, it's like, a boxer has a big fight on the telly, goes 15 rounds.
Yeah.
Going to struggle to do it the next day.
Yeah.
It's going to need a period of recuperation. It's that type of thing.
And Legionella pneumophila is broken down into serogroups as well. And we know that Legionella pneumophila serogroup 1 is the most virulent form of the bacteria. Yeah. So does that stressed out aspect, does that reduce its serogroup, or is that tied into the makeup of the bacteria?
No. So the serogroup is just... It's a way of categorising it. It's just slight genetic differences.
So it is a physical genetic difference in the bacteria.
Yeah, it's a physical difference.
You could have a serogroup 1 bacteria that's stressed out and therefore doesn't want to multiply as much.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. I did not know that.
Yeah, they have to recover.
Yeah.
Now, the PCR will pick them up because it doesn't need to grow. It doesn't need to do anything. It just picks up fragments of DNA.
Yeah.
The downside of that doesn't mean you're picking up live bacteria.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're picking up bacteria that's potentially not viable, therefore
not even living.
Not really. It's sort of negligible. Negligible? Is that the right word?
Negligible. Yeah. So if you think about how your immune system works, your immune system could give a load of Legionella an absolute beasting and kill it all, and you could still test positive with PCR.
Yeah.
Oh dear, this was only going to be a short one.
You could also have much higher counts.
You could have loads higher counts, yeah. So it's got its values, but you've got to know how to interpret it. Do you want a little story?
Yeah.
It's just reminded me of something.
Go for it.
This is a little bit
Left field?
No, yeah, it is a little bit, but it's reasonable. So I remember reading about a study years ago of what they call. You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
A false positive pseudo epidemic. You ever heard that phrase?
No, but I think I could interpret.
You could
that
interpret
phrase.
that. So this is quite a few years ago, and it was a children's hospital in America. I'm not trying to diss PCR, by the way. It's a genius invention, but like anything, it's got its limitations. But it's such a good story. There's a doctor that's got an awful cough in this hospital. Another doctor says, that sounds a bit like whooping cough. Think we should get you tested? He agrees. Swab the back of his throat. Positive PCR for whooping cough. Hospital panics and starts screening the children. Obviously, we know whooping cough is a childhood disease. Not very nice. They start screening the children with swabs. Over 100 cases. And they're having a meeting and they're about to inform the CDC that they've got a major outbreak of whooping cough in so-and-so children's hospital.
What's the CDC, Duncan?
Centre for Disease Control. It's the US version of, what's now the UK Health Security Agency, or as we call them, the KGB. And they're about to announce this to the CDC. And one of the doctors says, hold on. Has anyone actually confirmed these kids have got a cough? A nurse in were able to say, we've not got a single
So
child.
they just tested them regardless of the fact that they haven't got any symptoms.
They were just doing diligence and screening. None of the kids have got any symptoms. And this other doctor says, okay, before we tell the CDC, we've still got the swabs. Let's take them down the lab, see if they can culture. It's pursuit. I can't remember the name of the bacteria, but it's a bacterial infection. See if we can culture it. 0.
Yeah.
So that was the idea of this false positive pseudo epidemic.
They identified the bacteria, but it was non-viable.
No, the PCR had reacted to tiny strands of whooping cough bacteria DNA, but it didn't mean there was any live bacteria.
Yeah.
So you imagine in a children's hospital that's popping around the air all the time and they're breathing it in, but not like most of these illnesses. Your immune system just slaps it away. Yeah. And what part of that is just breaks it up. Mm. So you have to know how to interpret these things. Yeah. So it's an interesting
story.
It's a good story, isn't it?
I'm sure the audience are asleep now, but
probably, but I enjoyed it. Okay,
I did too.
Okay. Shall we have a little rant?
Let's do Ravers Rant.
Duncan Ravenscroft, Duncan Ravenscroft, Duncan Ravenscroft. It's Ravers Rant. Duncan Ravenscroft, Duncan Ravenscroft, Duncan Ravenscroft. It's Ravers Rant.
Oh man, that makes me laugh. All right. Yeah, that makes me laugh.
Yeah, it's good. Like it.
So this is multi-layered. And I've picked up a new client. And what's happened is the client has been using a third party to do risk assessment and all the monitoring. Okay? Third party have instructed another water treatment company to both bypass and remove 2 cold water storage tanks and to commission proper set of schematic drawings. Okay? The third party that's in charge, shall we say, they've quoted this year for twice yearly inspection of said cold water storage tanks that they commissioned the removal of. And the schematics bear no relation to the buildings. Some of it's backwards. Some of it refers to first and ground floor in a single story building, so on and so forth. So you can imagine, I mean, I found this out about 3 weeks ago and I've just about stopped shaking.
I mean, the first thing about that is your favourite phrase, the tails wagging the dog.
Tails wagging the dog.
So you've got the people who are doing the risk assessments are also doing the monitoring. So they're marking their own homework, as we discussed before.
There's more to this. And it's a special school and they're very well funded. And so the school business manager said to me, look, if you're going to try to convince us to take this in-house, it needs to be about more than money because we're actually well funded. I want it done properly.
Yeah, but do they want to be paying for things that they don't need to be paying for?
Thing. So one of my I learned this a few years ago. You go to something like a school, most buildings now, you've got a digital. I don't know if digital's the right thing. You sign in electronically, and you sign out electronically. So I'm saying to the guys, okay, so you've had your records say the TMVs were fail-safed, temperature checked, and the strainers were taken out and cleaned on so-and-so date. Let's go back. You go back and you look how long the engineer was on site. About 25 minutes.
How many TMVs?
About 30.
Okay, you could probably do 2.
Probably do 2. Yeah. And that's with all the monitoring as well. So we knew that, we knew that they were being a little bit naughty, shall we say. Really bad news. But the good thing is these electronic systems can really catch people out.
Yeah.
So the guy on a normal monitoring run, this is 3 discrete systems. One of them reasonably sized circulating one. 2 of them more like outbuildings, combi boiler type jobs. Typical time on site about 15 minutes. All right, he should be there a couple of hours max, but it's not a 15-minute job.
No.
So they've really been caught out. Train them up, new written scheme, saving them at least $3,500 a year. So it's a good news story, but it's going to take me until I'm 15,008 to
get over the anger.
Well, to get over the anger and to get rid of all of this bad practice because it really winds me up. And I'm not perfect, but I don't cheat and lie.
We need to start some kind of foundation or something.
We do,
because this is endemic.
It's endemic. It's endemic. Yeah, it's endemic.
So I think, funny enough, I had conversations about this the other day, but really, who's at fault there? Is it the guy that's going to site and only spending 15 minutes? Or is it the company that's employing him to go to site and they haven't given him the tools? Or most importantly, haven't explained to him the reason why he's doing the things that he's doing? Because what you find is that if you don't give people the ownership of that task so they fully understand the importance of it, then they will make it up.
Yeah.
And I've got a story about a company that I used to work for.
Hold on. Is this a Roundy's rant?
Sorry.
Is it a Roundy's rant?
It could be.
Go for it, mate.
It's not a rant. It's not a rant at all. It's not a rant at all. It's just interesting. Okay. It's to do with being caught out, really. Yeah. So at the time where electronic logbooks were becoming more popular, I worked for a company that was kind of at the forefront of that development, and they had the barcoding system, which is very, very common now, where you have barcodes at different assets, and whoever's doing the monitoring has a PDA, and they go up to that asset and they scan the barcode, and it knows where they are and what they've got to do at that outlet, and then they take a temperature of it, and it automatically puts that into the PDA and then syncs that with the cloud and puts it all up into effectively an online logbook. And the limitations with a paper logbook system is when you're auditing it, you're seeing written evidence of monitoring, but you don't actually know that that's been done. You know, that it's the level of robustness is limited in a paper logbook system.
So what, in common parlance, you can just fill it in.
You can just fill it in.
Yeah.
And the person who's auditing the logbook doesn't know that you haven't. I mean, sometimes there's signs.
Yeah, there's telltales, aren't there?
There can be.
Yeah.
If it's a small site, then, people can get away with doing that if they know what they're doing, and you're none the wiser. You go around to do a risk assessment and you check temperatures and they're like completely different, then obviously that's an indication. But going back to this story, the level of extra robustness that it gives you for the evidence of your control regime, where you've got a clear record of times, the operator, and them going around site and doing the monitoring, you can tell that that's being done. They have to do it in order to get it into those records. They had this system also in America, and there was hospital in America that used to use it to test their fire doors, and they caught this guy out, but he'd been very ingenuitive in that he had created his own barcodes.
Top marks.
That were the same as the barcodes on all the doors around the hospital. It was a big hospital. And he used to sit in his van, scan the barcode, do the checks on the door, and then scan the next barcode and do the checks on the door. Now, if it was a paper logbook system, you wouldn't identify that this had happened. But when they looked at the timings of what he'd done, they realised that he'd got round the hospital in like 10 minutes or something and got through all those barcodes, because the way that it records the data means that you can see that information. So they caught him out. But he, tried his best to hack the system.
Yeah, I'm going to give him marks for ingenuity and, free thinking, but it's a bit naughty, isn't it? Fire doors in a hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, that's catastrophic if it goes wrong.
Absolutely.
It reminds me,
again,
actually.
Probably a case of him not really being given the information to appreciate why it was so important.
It reminds me of, best part of 10 years ago, I ended up having to go to a meeting on behalf of one of the London boroughs with one of the big players, and a couple of their engineers had been playing up, shall we say. And to be fair, the guy that was in charge, there was no case to be met. It was really bad what was going on. But he took it on the chin and accepted improvements had got to be made and all the rest of it. And then when the meeting was finished and we were talking off the record, he was a perfectly good bloke. Like he knew what was going wrong and he knew how to fix it. He just said to me, the good thing with our systems is I never have to sack anybody. They sack themselves. Because of what they do.
Yeah.
We just have to catch it.
Yeah.
You've got to be so careful now everything's tracked. If you're going to cheat, you've got to be so clever.
Yeah.
And most people aren't clever enough to beat it.
But the strange thing is...
I'm not advocating cheating, by the way.
No, because...
Sounds like it, though, doesn't it?
Yep. But I think because of the way those systems are designed now, it's almost more work to try and cheat it than it is just to do the work.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Is that the end of the rant?
Mate, that was quite a calm rant today, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. Good episode.
I think so.
How you feeling, Matt? Another 10,000 subscribers?
I reckon we'll boost.
It'll definitely boost. And it'll probably only be me next month because the way it's going, Matt will probably be on his yacht.
Oh, it's not a 50-50 split.
It don't sound like it to me, mate. I mean, I'm borrowing someone's dinghy.
Well, with that, we shall say goodbye and look forward to catching you on the next episode. Please like and subscribe and all that stuff. And please don't forget that if you've got any comments that you want to make them in the comments section, or send us an email and let us know if there's anything specific that you want us to discuss about the Legionella or water hygiene industry, and we will be only too happy to oblige. And that's goodbye from me.
It's also goodbye from me. One extra thing, Matt. It would be absolutely lovely to receive an email, wouldn't it? That'd be quite exciting.
We'd get very excited.
We'd get very excited by that. Nice one.
Take care, guys.